Welcome to BCS online lectures. This is the first lecture in software development subject. In this lecture, we will discuss about classification of software. Most students believe that software development subject is the most difficult subject to pass the exam. But the truth is, this is the most easiest subject to pass if you start at the right point. This subject is all about programming. So you need to practice programming by writing codes. But before we start writing codes, we will learn about background of software development and some theories related to programming. Now let's take a look at today's lecture plan. First we will discuss the difference between software and computer programs. Then we will discuss about classification of software. In this we will divide software into three main categories: system software, application software and malicious software. System software we further divide it into operating system, utility software, system drivers and translators. In translators we will learn about compilers, interpreters and assemblers. Application software we further categorize according to property and user right, coding language, purpose and output and platform. Then the third categorization of software we will learn about malicious or malware. Finally we will discuss about attributes of software products. Okay, first let's try to understand what is a software. According to this definition, software is a collection of computer programs developed for computer users to perform certain tasks. It's a package of computer programs, user interfaces, data structures and documents. If you carefully attend to this definition, software is a collection of computer programs. It's a collection of computer programs developed for computer users. And it's also a package. This package includes computer programs, user interfaces, data structures or databases, and documents. So, software is a collection of computer program. If software is a collection of computer program, software and computer program should be two different things. In common sense, we can say both are same, but technically we can declare these two as different things. Okay, now let's see the difference. Software is a collection of computer programs developed for computer users, right? It's a collection of computer program. Intended user is computer users or end users, right? Computer program is a set of instructions to perform certain tasks for the computers. So the user of computer program is the computer itself, and it's also a set of instructions, right? So that is the difference between software and a computer program. Now let's try to understand this difference using an example. Now I am going to open Microsoft Word, right? This is Microsoft Word. It's a word processing software. So I believe all of you are already familiar with this Microsoft Word software. So using this software you can create or process electronic documents. So, right? So everything you see in this screen, this is called user interface, right? User interface provide a way to interact with the software, right? This is the user interface of Microsoft Word. Also this help documentations here. If you click on here, this question mark, that is the help documentation of computer of Microsoft Word. User interface, documentation, databases which we can see, right, and computer programs. That's the collection of this package. Now let's type few words here. Now I'm going to type BCS online lectures. Now I type BCS online lectures in Microsoft Word, right? Now let's perform some simple formatting, right? Now I'm going to select this text and make it bold. I did two things here. First, I select the text. Then I make the text bold. Actually, these are two commands. Two commands I given to Microsoft Word software. Right? I gave first command I gave, okay, when I click here and drag my mouse to the end, that is the first command. Second command I gave is make this text bold. So the commands I gave executed by this software, but actually computer programs executed these commands following the instruction provided when creating the computer program. First is to select, when I give the command to select the computer program, select the text, computer program, there is a computer program to execute that command. When I give the command to, okay, make that selected text bold, there is a computer program execute that command and make the text bold. So with this example, we can understand that Microsoft Word software contains these many computer programs or instructions to perform different tasks. This is the difference between a software and a computer program. Now we know the difference between a software and a computer program. But today's lecture is about classification of software. We can categorize software in many different ways. More generally, by considering the availability of the software, we can divide it as generic software and bespoke software. But more technically, we can divide it into three categories as system software, application software and malicious software. In some textbooks, you will find only system software and application software categories. In modern textbooks, you will find the third category, which is malicious software or malware. Now let's see the more general method. This classification is mainly based on the availability of the software. First categorization is generic software. These are the software readily available in the market. For example, Microsoft Office package, Photoshop, Windows, Kaspersky virus package, right? Media players, chat software like WhatsApp, Facebook, all these software are generally available, ready to use, right? But bespoke software are custom made. Bespoke software are custom made for a specific organization. For an example, let's consider an organization hire a software development company or freelance programmer to develop stock control or invoicing software. So that is a bespoke software. Now let's compare few differences of generic and bespoke software. Generic software you can buy from the internet or from agents or from the computer shops, right? These softwares are readily available in the market. But bespoke software you need to develop by hiring a software company or freelance developer. Generic software, these are not expensive, right? They are not expensive compared to the development cost of the bespoke software. So bespoke software are more expensive comparing to with generic software. Generic software you can instantly install and use. For example, WhatsApp you can just download, install and straight away use. But bespoke software you need to wait until the software is developed to use it. Generic software created for the general public, whereas the bespoke software developed for specific users or organization. Generic software you can't customize. You have to use it as it is. You are limited to functions available in the software. For example, if you get WhatsApp, so you may think you need to add some button or some new addition to the software, but you can't do it because you have to use the software as it is, right? But bespoke software you can customize according to your needs, right? You can tell your developer, okay, I need this kind of button or functions or process, that the software development company will develop it. So bespoke software, these are fully customized. Then generic software less user centric. What's that mean? That means for some users, it may be difficult to use, but bespoke software, they are very user friendly because they develop by considering the user requirements. For each and every user in the organization, when developing a bespoke software, they consider the user, right? Therefore, they are more user centric. Generally, this generic software has a fixed price. If you want to buy a software from the market, for example, Illustrator or Photoshop, there's a fixed price for that. Even for Microsoft Office package, there's a fixed price. Windows, there's a fixed price in the market. But for the bespoke software, there is no fixed price. Even you start with the development budget, during the development process, new additions can come. Therefore, the final price can change. So, these are the differences between generic software and bespoke software. Now, the generic and bespoke software these are the type of classification based on the availability of the software. The second type of classification is based on more technical aspects. Right? This is the general method. The second type of classification is based on more technical aspects. As we discussed earlier, we can mainly divide software into three categories in the technical method: system software, application software, and malicious software. Let's try to understand this simple theory of a computer system, because understanding what is a computer system is very important to understand the difference between system software and application software, or the interactions of system and application softwares. Right? So, first let's learn what is a computer system. This theory of computer system says that in a computer system there are three components: hardware, software, and liveware. In another word, to consider a system as a computer system, there should be hardware, software, and liveware. A computer system is made of these three components. This is the theory of a computer system. Now let's see the hardware. First component is hardware. Hardware is all electronic and mechanical parts which we can physically see as a computer, right? But the second part, software, is the soul of a computer, right? Software gives life to the computer. Without software, computer is like a dead machine. Last part, the last component, the liveware. Liveware is all the users of a computer. Without liveware, computer has no purpose. Computer has no one to serve, right? Think about a computer without an operating system. Computer without an operating system. You can turn the computer on, but you can't do anything productive. Is that true? Without an operating system, you can turn on the computer, but it will come and say there's no operating system. You can't proceed. You cannot do anything productive. Right? Now think about a computer with an operating system. Computer, there is a computer, and computer has operating system also, Windows, right? But there are no users to use it. Computer in some hidden place without any users, no one to use, no one knows that. So there is no purpose of it, no one to serve. We need users to use the computers and get something productive out of it. So the computer system made of these hardware, software, and liveware. All these three components are very important to function as a computer system. In modern approach, right? To understand in modern, we are not using much computers. No, these days we are using mobile phones or mobile devices, right? Think about the smartphone that you are using, right? Phone is actually useless without all the apps that you use to use it. Sometimes you may You may heard that some technical issues come in the smartphones. Smartphone becomes useless. You can't turn it on. It is considered as a brick phone. It's just like a brick, no soul. It's a dead phone. Without this Android or Apple operating system and without apps, the phone is useless. And also, to use the mobile phone, you have to be there. The phone, there must be a user. Otherwise, it is useless. Even it has apps, operating system and everything. Without a user, there's no purpose of existing as a phone. To complete this as a system, we need all these three components, right? Now this is the simple this concept of computer system. Now let's get back to our main lecture, which is the classification of software, right? The first classification is system software. Let's see what is a system software. System software provides a platform to communicate between hardware and other software. It manages the computer's internal hardware and related operations like memory management, storage management, processor scheduling, communication support, and many other things. System software manage and communicate between hardware and other software. Other software means maybe application software, maybe other system software as well. Right, in this example, that you can see the hardware. In top of hardware, there's system software. On top of system software are the application software. So to run application software, you need system software, right? To manage the hardware or to communicate with the hardware, you need system software. Generally, application software interact with system software, and system software interact with hardware. For example, get Windows operating system. Windows operating system is a system software. Without Windows, you cannot directly install application software. To install Microsoft Office, you need to have some kind of supported operating system. So operating system is a system software. System software is responsible for dealing with the hardware, all the motherboard, this power, memory, and everything managed by the system software. Application software interact with the system software. So this is how interactions happen between system software and application software. Now let's see this sample operation, right? The simple operation, let's consider. User enter something from the keyboard, right? Now this is the keyboard here. Now user enter something from the keyboard. Operating system is the responsible for detecting what user entered from the keyboard and process of through the CPU or central processing unit. Is processed through the CPU and decided what to do with the data, right? Now for example, if Microsoft Word is open at that moment, right, it is open, so it is the active application software in the screen. If something entered from the keyboard, Windows or the operating system detects the input. Okay, now something is now entering from the keyboard and send it to the CPU. Send it to the CPU. CPU decide what to do with the entered details, right? So CPU detects. CPU tell okay, now it's process and tell operating system to send it to a Microsoft Word because it is the active open application software. They send to application software, and also now we should display it on the monitor display. So the operating system or the system software is the responsible for displaying that text. So now see, when user enter something from the keyboard, system software or the operating system first detect it and decide with the CPU what to do with the text. So Microsoft Word is open, it's sent to Microsoft Word, and so also it's displayed on the monitor. As these arrows were pointing, we can see now entering from the keyboard is only one-way communication. It's just going to the system software. Displaying also is one-way interaction. It's just displaying. But CPU and Operating system is bidirectional communication. It communicate to the CPU, CPU communicate to the system software. System software communicate to the word, word communicate with the system software, right? As you see in this example, OS is the system software that directly communicate and manage all the hardware. Microsoft Word is only communicating with the operating system. Word is only communicating with the operating system, right? This is a very simple example that you now can understand the use of system software or the role of a system software.